Welcome back once again on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. Now, the session for which all of you were waiting, the last minute tips and the test taking strategy for the examination which is going to held after 2 days from now. So I know that all of you were anxiously waiting for this session. So friends, let us begin with, first of all, the last minute tips, what all things you need to do in these next 2 days. And then I'll also be telling you what you need to do, how you need to plan your examination, plan those 100 minutes that you'll be spending taking on TISSNET session. So good afternoon, everyone. Please quickly confirm if I am clearly audible and visible to all of you. Come on, just write yes in the chat box if I am clearly visible and audible. All right, great. I can already see a lot of you are joining in this session. Great. Good afternoon, Ria. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mayank, Sonal. Good afternoon. All right. So I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. So friends, this session is all about what we need to do in these last 2 days, or what we actually need not to do in these last 2 days. And then how we can plan whatever time is there in the examination, how we can plan those 100 minutes for these 100 questions that will appear in TISSNET. So this is the agenda of this session that we'll be discussing today. So first of all, we'll be spending a few minutes on the last minute tips, what you need to do in these last 2 days, like I said. And then the most important thing that all of you are looking for, the test taking strategy. Now, in my previous sessions, I have already discussed how you need to divide these 100 minutes. But today, I have conducted this session intentionally so that you will remember all these things just 2 days before the examination, and you will go with these inputs in the examination. Whatever strategy that you have made for yourself, that should work. You should keep those strategies in your mind and should be able to apply in the examination. That is my only concern. All right. Okay. So first of all, the last minute tips. So let us talk about these things one by one. Now, first of all, a very frank advice to all of you, a very frank suggestion to all of you, do not study anything new in these last 2 days. So what generally happens is, हम क्या करते हैं, ये जो last 2 days हैं, so obviously हमारा मन थोड़ा चंचल है and we want to perform better than other students in the examination. So what we tend to do is, we tend to get motivated, or I'll say we can tend to get influenced with a lot of people. So we have lots of friends, and in these last 2 days, I'm actually telling you that they are not friends. So we get influenced from these friends, and we tend to discuss our preparation, our strategy with these friends. And what happens is, we tend to get a lot of questions from other people. Now, in case you have made a proper strategy for yourself, if you have decided, let's say, to leave anything, and in the last moments, you receive an input from your friend that this chapter is very important. For example, logarithms. So let's say we are not good in logarithms, or today we have left logarithm for the preparation of TISSNET, and suddenly I get a call from my friend that, okay, logarithms is a very important chapter. You have not done this, so you can study logarithms for next 2 hours and you'll be able to attempt questions of logarithms. Just study a few properties of logarithms, blah, blah, blah. So many inputs keeps coming from our friends. Please ignore all those things. Please ignore all those suggestions which will take you towards doing anything new which you have not studied, which you have not prepared for TISSNET examination. Right? After TISSNET examination, let's say you will be taking MHCT examination in the month of March. So fine, after TISSNET, after this examination, you can work on those areas, but not now, not in these last 2 days. Strictly stay away from such suggestions, stay away from those topics which you have already left. All right, fine. This is one very important thing. The next thing is, just read your GK notes. Right? So in these last 2 days, you cannot stay away from the studies. even if I'll tell you to stay away from the studies, then obviously your inner self will not allow you to do that. I'll take your questions, NC Sindhu. Wait, okay. So obviously your inner self will not allow you to stay away from the studies in these last 2 days, right? So if you will keep yourself engaged, if you'll keep yourself occupied in some lighter things, then it will be more beneficial. So I believe that after attending these sessions that we are conducting for you for GK, right? So you must have prepared some notes. You must have highlighted a few things. So in these last 2 days, just revise those things, just read all these things in a lighter manner. Okay, 15-20 minutes of reading here and there, other articles will keep you updated about the things. All right, so just spend more of your time in reading your GK notes. Now also why I'm telling you to read the GK notes, because I believe that GK is one of the most important areas, or it's not one of the most, it is the most important sections in TISSNET examination. The other two sections, quant and verbal, they are important. Obviously, you need to build up a total score. But these two sections does not have a sectional cutoff. Also, we prepare for quant and verbal in the entire year. But obviously, this is one mistake that we commit. We don't study GK from the beginning, right? And we start studying GK a few days before the examination. Okay. So what you can do is, you can light rakho, and whatever notes you have prepared for GK, just go through those notes. Okay. Now Sindhu is saying, sir, I'm not good at quants, but I'm doing well in English and GK. Will I be able to manage? Definitely, Sindhu. Sindhu, just understand one thing and ask yourself that, do you have any other option in these last 2 days? No, we don't have any other option. We have to do good. So that will keep you motivated. Okay, so you have to solely depend on these two sections and don't think anything else. Just do your level best. Just perform more than your 100%. Just give your more than 100% on these two sections, and also attempt a few questions of quant. Since you are not very good in quant, but you will be able to manage at least 7-8 questions from quant, which comes from the very easy topics like arithmetic. So arithmetic is one of the very most easiest area if I talk about the entire mathematics. So what you can do is, out of those 30 questions of mathematics, which will also include reasoning, 2 or 3 questions of reasoning and 4-5 questions of data interpretation, I'm sure that if you spend 15 minutes in quant section, then you will be able to easily manage 7 to 8 questions minimum in this area, right? Next, remaining 70 questions. If you are saying that you are good in English and GK, so out of 70, you need to score a minimum of, or you need to attempt logically a minimum of 55 to 60 questions, right? Then obviously, since we don't have any negative marking, some of the flukes will also help you to take up your score. All right, but please don't give up on this examination, right? We'll discuss about other things after the examination is over. But right now you have to keep yourself motivated. I have trust on all of you that whatever preparation you have done, you will be able to do good in this examination. All my wishes are with you, right? Now moving ahead, let's talk about the next tip for all of you. Now revise some of the formulas of quantitative ability. Right? Obviously, there are formulas, so you must have prepared a formula copy for yourself. In the last lab to TISSNET, we have conducted a lot of sessions for you, at the beginning of which we have discussed some of the important formulas for every area. Okay, so you can make, no, not right now, but you must have made some formula copy, or there must be some place where you have kept the formulas. तो अब क्या करना है last 2 days में? So आज 1 या 2 बार formulas revise कर लो. Formula revise करने में कितना time लगेगा? It will not take hardly 15-20 minutes. So just sit for 15-20 minutes in the evening. Then tomorrow morning you can sit for 15-20 minutes. Then tomorrow evening again 15-20 minutes. Keep things light and just revise all the formulas and the important concepts. Same thing you can do with the shortcut calculations of data interpretation. So 5 to 10 minutes lagao and just practice one set of data interpretation, not more than that. What we can also do is you can just attend, you can look at the recording of some of the sessions that we have conducted for all of you, right? So these sessions will help you in keeping in touch, keeping yourself in touch with all the preparation, right? So अपने आप से कोई extra practice नहीं करनी, just go through all those sessions once again. Like 2 or 3 sessions you can watch of 40-45 minutes के session होते हैं. So in the entire day, just watching these sessions for 1.5 or 2 hours will keep you in line with all the studies, right? Now the next thing is stay calm and don't overdo anything. So this is what I've been telling you since last 15 minutes in this session. We don't have to do anything extra. Okay? So jitne efforts karne chahiye the, we have done that. Give a tap to yourself on your back that you have done wonderfully for the preparation of this examination. Now it's just that you need to apply all those strategies in the examination that you have prepared in the last 10 or 15 days. Right? I'm sure that you must have been through the test series of TISSNET. You must have devised some strategy for yourself. Now it is time to apply those strategies. So what normally happens is, last 2 days mein we make ourselves occupied in a lot of things and we forget about applying the strategy. Okay? So the one and the most important thing to be kept in the mind till the time you are entering the examination hall is the strategy, is the application of strategy. Examination में जैसी पेपर सामने आता है हम सब कुछ भूल जाते हैं. हम भूल जाते हैं कि हमें ये strategy apply करनी है, सब कुछ zero हो जाता है. So this is one thing that you have to keep yourself reminding every time, that whatever strategy that you have made in the last few days, you will have to apply that strategy. Everything should work according to the strategy. Then only you will be able to reach that cutoff score of TISSNET examination. Right? Now moving ahead, the next thing is the examination hall strategy. What I should do in the examination hall, how should I attempt this examination? I am pretty sure that all of you must have devised a wonderful strategy for yourself. I'm not going to change that strategy, right? I'm just going to add a few things in this strategy that might refine your strategy. Also, it's totally up to you if you feel that the strategy that I am giving you will not work for you, or the strategy that you have made for yourself is foolproof strategy, then you can completely ignore my strategy, right? But there might be some chances that you might end up refining your strategy by looking at some of these pointers that I'm going to give you. All right. So let's look at these points one by one. So these are the 5 pointers that I have made. Very basic things. ऐसा कुछ हाई-फाई चीज नहीं बना दिया है मैंने आपके लिए. ठीक है? So these are some basic facts that we need to remember once we are entering the examination hall. Right? Now, first thing, the most important thing is the sequence in which we are going to attempt the examination, right? So sequence means obviously this entire examination is divided in 3 sections, okay? So which is the first section that we are going to attempt, second and the third, and what after the third section? Yes, we still have a lot of things to discuss about that. So first thing is sequence. I'll be discussing all these pointers in detail. Don't you worry about that. 100 minutes in these 3 sections. Obviously, we have different number of questions. So in quant and verbal, we have 30 questions. For GK, we have 40 questions. And every person has a different strategy for attempting or for the time allocation. All right. So this is time per section. The third thing that I must remind myself every time is time per question that I'm going to spend. So for this, I use a technical term that is called threshold time for every question. So we may have different thresholds. So I'll also discuss this thing in detail. The next thing is keep and utilize the buffer time. So always, like, this buffer time is very important, and in the last 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, whatever buffer time you keep for yourself, उस last 10 or 15 minutes में हमारा दिमाग बहुत ज़्यादा चलना शुरू हो जाता है, and we end up solving more number of questions in that buffer time. Alright, so buffer time, I'll tell you about in detail about that. Also, attempt all questions as they come. This is one very important thing in an examination which does not have negative marking. Okay, so अगर negative marking नहीं है किसी examination में, so we must go for this strategy. I'll tell you the reason why. So let's look at these pointers one by one. So first of all, the sequence. Wait. So first of all, the sequence in which I should be going in this examination, right? Now, it can be your own sequence, right? But what I feel I am telling you, okay? Now we have total 100 questions in this examination. Now, first of all, the GK section has how many questions? 40 questions. And this comes with a cutoff. So GK section becomes the most important section for me. Next is quant mathematics and then verbal section, verbal ability, right? I'm keeping them together, and this section has 30 and 30 questions. Okay. So what I will do if I am a student, probably you might also do that. First of all, I attempt GK section. I'll start my examination with GK section. There are plenty of reasons for that. Now in GK section, we don't have to solve anything. Okay. So whatever knowledge that we possess, we have to just show that knowledge. This is not a game of applications. This is not a game of concepts. So जो मुझे याद है, मुझे वो चीज mark करनी है. Right? So I would like to start with GK section because it does not require any conceptual things. So starting में ऐसा होता है ना, हमें warm up करने के लिए time चाहिए होता है, mind को warm up करने के लिए. So this GK section will help you. At the beginning, you'll start with RC passage. At the beginning, you'll start with a quant question or DI question. So probably my mind is not warmed up for that particular thing. Okay. So I would first of all spend some time on GK section. Also, for a GK question, either I know the answer or I don't know the answer. It is not like that I'll do some calculations and I'll get the answer, right? So I'll start with GK section, spend minimum amount of time on GK section, reading all the questions, attempting all the questions. All right, reading all of them and attempting all of them, and probably these 40 questions can be finished in 15 to 20 minutes as per your reading speed. Okay, so I'll give 15 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes maximum time in this section. All right, and will make sure that I have attempted all of them. मेरे को आंसर आता है तो भी अटेम्प्ट करना है, नहीं आता तो भी अटेम्प्ट करना है. Fine. So in these 15 to 20 minutes, I'll attempt all these 40 questions. So out of 100 minutes, let's say maximum 20 minutes are over. Yes, Shruti, you can switch between the sections. Okay, fine. Sir, पहले English करने से कैसा रहेगा? Vineet, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you have used a strategy in the test series where you have started with verbal section and the strategy is working for you, you can always go ahead and do that. Okay, what I am doing is I am telling all of you what strategy will work better for most of the students. This might not work for all the students, but जो होता है ना जनरल मास, जनरल जनता, ज्यादातर लोग, मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, उनके लिए ये चीज काम करेगी, राइट? So I'll start with GK section, 40 questions, 20 minutes at max. My experience is telling that on an average, a question of GK requires 20 seconds. So 20 seconds अगर लगते हैं 40 questions के लिए 13-14 minutes में हो जाना चाहिए, but still I am giving 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. Okay, so in these 20 minutes, I should attempt every question of GK. So when I'm saying that, attempt all questions as they come. So this is specially for GK section, right? Okay, so first section done. Second section and third section can be anyone among QA and verbal. It's totally up to you. So I'm not like fixed on this particular thing. Fine. So you can move to QA section or you may move to verbal section after GK section. Okay. Now one more thing, GK section is over, so you don't have to come back again on the GK section, right? Now QA section and verbal section, amount of time that I am left with is a minimum of 80 minutes, right? So there might be some students who will be able to finish this GK section in 15 minutes also. So 20 मिनट्स मैंने मैक्सिमम लिया है, तो यहां पे मिनिमम टाइम फॉर दीज टू सेक्शंस आर लेफ्ट इज 80 मिनट्स. ओके, नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट टू डू विद दीज 80 मिनट्स. Now I'll not divide these 80 minutes in two parts. No, I'll divide it in three parts. So first for quant or verbal, second for quant or verbal, the third will be for the buffer time. So as you can see, the buffer time. Okay, so I'll divide this in three parts. So probably 30, 30 and 20. So there is no hard and fast rule कि आपको 30-30 ही देने हैं. If I am strong in quant, I am fast in quant, I think that I'll be able to manage all the 30 questions in 25 minutes. I can give 25 minutes to quant, then maybe 35 minutes to verbal. If I'm weak in verbal, I think that I need some more time in verbal. I'm slow in verbal. I'm slow with passages. I'm slow with comprehension. So I can give some extra time in verbal ability as well. Right? I hope you are understanding my point. So this is not a hard and fast thing that you have to divide it like 30, 30, 20. So divide it as per your competence in each of these sections. But important thing is, make sure that you are leaving some buffer time. And buffer time should not be like 10 minutes only. 10 minutes तो start होंगे खत्म होंगे पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So make sure that you are keeping a buffer time of 20 minutes, and whatever time you are left with after this buffer time, taking time for this buffer and after this GK section, divide it sensibly in these two sections. Okay. So now let's say I went to the QA section. I spent 30 minutes in this. Now in these 30 minutes, what you have to do is, what should be your strategy? Now obviously, you will be solving all the questions which you think are easy. Okay. Now, generally speaking, the level of difficulty of this examination is between easy to medium, right? There are rarely any difficult, very high level of difficulty questions, right? Now, in case out of these 30 questions, you encounter some questions which you think that are not solvable. You don't want to look at those questions, right? So, as in you see these questions, don't solve these questions. You have taken a decision that you are not going to solve these questions. So, make sure that you are marking any answer for this question. You're not leaving this question unattempted. बिकॉज लास्ट के अगर आप ये सोचोगे 5 मिनट में या 3 मिनट में हम सारे अनअटेम्प्टेड क्वेश्चंस को मार्क कर देंगे, देन इट इज इम्पॉसिबल. इन द हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट एग्जाम अपने आप सबमिट हो जाएगा, ऑनलाइन एग्जामिनेशन है. इन द हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट यू विल नॉट रिमेंबर, यू विल नॉट रियलाइज दैट यू हैव लेफ्ट सम क्वेश्चंस अनअटेम्प्टेड, एंड एक क्वेश्चन में लास्ट में 3 मिनट बचे, आप क्वांट के क्वेश्चन में एंटर करोगे, आप खो जाओगे एंड पेपर अपने आप सबमिट हो जाएगा. तो ये जो अनअटेम्प्टेड क्वेश्चन है ये अनअटेम्प्टेड रह जाएंगे. So you cannot commit this big mistake. Okay. So whatever difficult questions are there, for which you think that you will never come back to these questions, mark any option. Option B सब में mark कर दो. Okay. So don't leave these questions unattempted. Then move to verbal section. Verbal ability पे चले गए. Verbal ability में जो भी time लगाया, same strategy. Okay. What you have done in QA, जो भी question आ रहा है उसको attempt करते गए. Right. And then in these last 20 minutes, go back to all those questions which you have left unattempted, and like in the first round, there will be some questions which you think that, okay, fine, these questions are doable, but will take more time. Or in some questions you have entered, but you are unable to get the final answer. ऐसे होते हैं बहुत सारे questions. So in these 20 minutes, you can move back to each of these sections and attempt all those questions which you have left unattempted just because of the reason that they were not so easy or you were not able to finish those questions, right? Believe me, in this buffer time, हमारा दिमाग बहुत ज़्यादा चलता है and we will be able to attempt a lot of questions in this buffer time, right? Now next is time per section. Time per section I have already discussed. So time per section हमारा कितना होना चाहिए? I have already discussed. We have already had a word with them. Now the next important thing is time per section. Sorry, time per question. What is the maximum time that we need to devote on a question? अब ये बहुत gray question है, बहुत gray area है. In the question of GK, you know, 15-20 seconds, half a minute. That's it. इतने में तो GK का क्वेश्चन हो ही जाता है. मुझे क्वेश्चन आता है या नहीं आता, I have to mark. This question arises for मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस इन क्वांट कि क्वांट में हमें कितने टाइम बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे मूव कर देना चाहिए. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड अ थ्रेशोल्ड टाइम. In this examination, I would keep that threshold limit to 45 seconds. 45 seconds तक अगर मुझे क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आ रहा, I feel that I'm nowhere in that question, after 45 seconds, I should leave that question. What happens with some students is, after spending 45 seconds or maybe 1 minute, they start feeling that I have already invested some time in this question. If I leave this question, my 1 minute will be wasted. So let me give another 1 minute and see if I'll be able to do this question. And इस चक्कर में क्या होता है, हम 1 minute, half minute, another 15 seconds हम ये देते देते 3-4 minutes are passed and we are unable to solve this question. Or even if after 4 minutes we get the answer, but we have wasted these 4 minutes. You have to save yourself from this particular thing. So after 45 seconds you feel that you are nowhere in that question, just go ahead, move to another question, leave this question, because if time will permit, you can always come back to this question. हमेशा वापस आ सकते हो, but if you lose 4 minutes on this question, these 4 minutes which are already lost will never come back. Okay? Now this is one of the biggest decisions that we have to do, that we have to take while attempting a paper. So please do that. Don't get stuck on any question. Put your ego away. Don't put your ego between you and the questions that you are attempting. Sometimes ऐसा होता है, ये टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस का क्वेश्चन है, दिस इज माई स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट एरिया, आज कैसे नहीं होगा ये वाला क्वेश्चन मुझसे. सो प्लीज यार, अपना ईगो घर पे छोड़ के जाना, एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में मत लेके जाना, राइट. सो इवन इफ द क्वेश्चन इज फ्रॉम योर स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट एरिया and you are unable to solve that question, so that means आज थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन आया है इस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में से, and respect that question, leave that question and come back to this question in the buffer time. No problem in that. Fine. So keep this particular thing in your mind, always attempting such an examination. Next thing is keep and utilize the buffer time. I have already explained you what is the buffer time, how much buffer time you should keep, and what you should be doing in this buffer time. Right? And the last pointer is attempt all the questions as they come. So I have already explained you this particular fact as well. The questions which you think are very difficult and you will never come back on those questions, make sure you are attempting those questions. You are not leaving these questions unattempted. That will help you in making sure that you have 100 questions attempted at the end of the examination. All right. So friends, you can go with this strategy that I have explained you. Like I mentioned earlier, there might be some things which will be helpful if you'll incorporate at the time of examination. This will definitely help you in increasing your score. All right. So that is all from my side for the strategy. All the very best to all of you for TISSNET examination. I hope all of you clear the cutoff of TISSNET examination and get the admission in whatever course you want in Tata Institute of Social Sciences. All right. So that is all from my side. Now, some useful piece of information for some of the students who are the aspirants of CAT 2023. So yes, we have admissions open in the new batches. Now, these are the complete details of the comprehensive program that we offer for CAT 2023. Now, this includes a lot of videos, live sessions, practice questions, the test series. So this is fully loaded program that we have to offer you, and this will be very beneficial for you. All the faculty members, me, Saral sir, Naveen sir, Vikrant sir, Nikita ma'am, all of us will be taking your sessions and will be helping you for the preparation of CAT and other entrance examinations. Next thing is, we are conducting a scholarship test. So we have conducted this in the past as well, and a lot of students are able to avail maximum scholarships. So to get up to 90% scholarship on CAT preparation program, you can take this scholarship test. You can register now, and this test will be held on 4th of March at 7 p.m. So please do register for this examination to avail maximum scholarship on the CAT preparation programs. Also, CAT retaker strategy. If you are a retaker for CAT 2023, you have attempted this examination. So Srinivas sir will be discussing the strategy for all the retakers on 25th of February at 7 p.m. live on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So please make sure you also attend this session. Even if you are not a repeater, then also it will help you in strategizing a lot of things, right? TISSNET 2023 live detailed analysis, expected cutoffs, difficulty level, examination pattern, and good attempts. All these things will be discussed by Srinivas Sir on 25th of February at 5:30 p.m. after the examination is over. So you can join Srinivas Sir on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep if you have taken TISSNET 2023. All right. That's all from my side, my dear friends. You can get social with us on all these social media platforms. Thank you very much to all of you. And once again, all the best to all the students who will be going for TISSNET examination. Please do share your reviews on TISSNET 2023. Srinivas Sir, yes, like you have seen one of the sessions, Srinivas Sir will be discussing the entire analysis at 5:30 on the examination day. So please share your reviews as well in that session. All the very best to all of you. Bye-bye.